You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Expect partly cloudy, breezy, and chilly weather out there through the afternoon. Bundle up, highs only near 45. Tonight, clear, cold and frosty, lows into the upper 20s. For Saturday, after a frosty start, lots of sunshine, highs 50 to 53. Back into the 50s, continue dry through Sunday. This forecast is brought to you by PetSmart. From grooming and boarding to food and toys, PetSmart has everything you need to take care of your pets this holiday season at your local PetSmart. And I'm Source 12's Chief Meteorologist, Patrick Wolf.
On AM 1240, Hot News Talk Radio.
I'm blowing everything up. We're starting over. I'm doing a new show. I want guys who push it to the middle of the table and go over the top. Take a risk, fail miserably. I'm right, and I'm not wrong, and I'll never back down. Conflict works. Allow it.
It's The Herd with Colin Cowherd. Right here and everywhere. Noon Eastern.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Hello, everybody. It's a great day here in cloudy Nooga, Tennessee. Another one. I don't know. Sometimes I say it's cloudy and then it gets sunny during the middle of the show, but it is a little bit cold. The cold snuck back up on me, and look, I'm wearing my jacket, nice leather jacket that I just happened to have in my car. I was not prepared for this at all. The weather turns in this city so fast. I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy it. I like to be prepared. I like to know what's happening. I like knowing what's around the corner. The weather's unpredictable. A lot of times our weather people don't know what's going to happen. Used to think that it was just maybe incompetence, maybe just they're not that smart. No. Nobody can predict this. Nobody. Nobody knows what's happening in Chattanooga weather at all. It's about as unpredictable as bowl season, which is one of my favorite holiday traditions. I watch all of those awful football games. Do you know what I mean? You just have, especially being in college, it's one of those things where you're home. They have terrible day football on, and terrible day football is better than no football. It's one of the holiday traditions. I also watch Die Hard every Christmas. It's technically a Christmas movie. It's like Home Alone for grown-ups, except he never has the upper hand in most of the movie, and at some point he walks on glass. It's just what happens. This is AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio. You're listening to Clutch with Keon Rose. I'm Keon Rose. Thank you for joining me today. I do have a Die Hard rant though, because I saw the DVD in Walmart the other day for the latest Die Hard movie, and he's got kids now, and they're grown up, and they're also in the action for some reason. What happened to when he was just a normal cop? He was just an average cop that got caught in the wrong place, wrong situation. He had to overcome. That's all I want to watch in a movie. I don't want to watch Bruce Willis, super fighter, takes down jets. I like what is happening even? Why is he in Russia? Like at some point you just have to be like, look, your life is messed up, dude. You keep finding yourself in this awkward position where people are trying to attack the world around you. 2 times is once or twice is a coincidence, 3 times is a pattern. They're like 5 diehards. This is a problem. This is a major issue with your life. He was just an average cop. That's how all of these movies go, by the way. The first movie, you're just an average person, and then like by the third movie, you're the greatest thing ever. It gets out of hand. It just gets out of hand. Big Bang Theory too. They were nerds. They were your average nerds, and then I don't know. Now they all have girlfriends, and they look better and more attractive just over time. It happens. It bothers me, is my point. So there you go. You tuned in for sports. What you got was in-depth movie sequel analysis. That's what we do here. And other Christmas traditions, basketball. Because this is going to be my last show before Christmas. I'm going to be out of town. I'm going to go visit my family in Texas. And I'm going to be going with my brother, who joined us on the show yesterday to talk about basketball, talk about Rajon Rondo and the whole situation with the racial slurs or the homophobic slurs that Rondo threw at the referee. And then the other day, or today, my girlfriend, who is also joining us on the trip, will be going back to Texas with my family. She'll be joining us on the show today. If you're watching us on YouTube live, you can see her. She's walking around in the back. She's super excited. We're working on a very experimental segment here. It's called Jay Asks. If you are a wife, you're a girlfriend, and you don't know enough about sports, and you just lob questions at your significant other, because that's what happens. I'll watch football with my girlfriend Jay, and she just like lights me up with questions. Just absolutely. The first down marker, what's that? He fumbled? How come that's a fumble? Why is that out of bounds? It goes on and on and on. So finally, we're going to put some questions to bed here. We're just going to put some things to rest. Jay is going to come on the show in a segment we like to call Jay Asks. She asks me sports questions. I try and answer them to the best of my ability. They're going to be, I have a feeling I'm going to leave very annoyed. I don't know. I have a feeling I'm going to leave very annoyed. I love Jay, but when it comes to the sports questions, she can really lay it on you. So that's coming up here in a little bit. You might want to stick tuned for that. That's going to be bizarrely interesting. NBA basketball. She's just making her presence known. Check it out on YouTube. The stream on YouTube is interesting. She's over there. Incredible cook. She's got a present for the radio station. That's her main motivation for showing up. And then, of course, I wanted to see her face. And also, is it shameful if I brought my girlfriend to the show to help me with a segment because I wanted material and I brought my girlfriend for a radio bit? There is a level of shame there. It's not all the shame, but there is some shame involved just by the nature of what that is, which is my girlfriend wanted to spend time with me. Did I segment out some time to spend with her? I brought her to the show with me to turn it into a radio bit. I've had better moments. I have had better moments. I will admit. Okay. The NBA, nobody does Christmas like the NBA. The NFL owns Thanksgiving. Okay. The NBA owns Thanksgiving so much, they put the Lions on and people still watch it. Okay. The Lions are awful. They have been awful all our lives. Why? Why do they subject us to the Lions year after year after year? The Lions were good this year, but like more often than not, they're dreadful, especially the pre-Calvin Johnson, pre-Matthew Stafford years. Dreadful team. Bad football team. They've been bad this year, but to be fair, they've lost some games by very, very close margins. The Lions have been bad my whole life. I remember the 0-16 Dan Orlovsky season and where he ran out of the back of the end zone. That whole season was a mess. That team continues to really be a mess, but a mess with talent on it. They didn't have talent before. The NFL is so popular, they can subject us to the Lions and we'll still watch. That's crazy. They can subject us to a team that went 0-16, didn't win a whole game that entire season, and we'll still watch. That's our dedication to football. NFL owns Thanksgiving, but the NBA, they own Christmas. And they have some great games slated. And last year's games were really good too. The special jerseys for Christmas for the NBA are always awesome. And also, this is an opportunity for young stars, young teams that people don't know that much about to get here and prove to the rest of the nation, to the casual basketball fan, why they're worth the attention they're getting. For instance, Anthony Davis is going to be huge. Anthony Davis, at some point in his career, is going to be the marketing monster that LeBron James is. He has to be. He's incredible. We've never seen a player like him. He's 7 feet tall, defends the rim, can dunk, shoots threes, handles the ball like a guard. We've never seen an Anthony Davis, and we're never going to see another Anthony Davis. The guy that played guard and then hit a very late odd growth spurt and went from 5-something to 7 feet tall. Anthony Davis and the Pelicans are going to take on the Miami Heat at noon, and that's going to be a fantastic game because the Heat are sneaky good. LeBron left. They're never going to be as good as the LeBron James level Heat, but the Heat are sneaky good. They've still got Bosh playing at a high level. It's still early enough in the season that Dwayne Wade playing at a high level, and Goran Dragic has brought an element to that team at point guard that they were in desperate need of. They needed a point guard, and they needed one bad. They needed one real bad, and they finally got one in Dragic. He signed his extension over the summer. Heat Pelicans, and I like that Anthony Davis is going to finally get to be shown to the nation, because if you're a casual basketball fan, you're not just turning on the Pelicans game. Like, hey, me and some friends at home get a beer and watch the Pellies. It's not happening. It just doesn't happen that way. They just don't have the recognition. They don't have that vibe to them. But Anthony Davis is awesome, and if you're not watching him, you're really missing out. I encourage you to do that. I understand basketball is not the most important sport in this part of the country. I get it. I do. I'm not asking you to not watch all the bowl games, because I'll be watching all the bowl games. I'm saying on Christmas Day at noon, watch the Pelicans and the Heat. Later in the day, 2:30, the Bulls and the Thunder. AC/DC, Thunder. And that's going to be a great game for obvious reasons. Derrick Rose versus Russell Westbrook. Super athletic point guard versus super athletic point guard. Kevin Durant. The Bulls' offense under Fred Hoiberg, they brought him in to fix the offense. He fixed it. They look good. They move now. They've got a lot of extra moving parts, moving gears. I really like the way the Bulls look this season. Derrick Rose has been playing a lot better since they took off the mask. He no longer looks like Bane. Okay, he no longer looks like he's trying to break your back. So that's pretty nice. Playing the Thunder. The Thunder rises. It's going to be an interesting game. I'm very excited about that one. Also on the schedule, finals rematch. Warriors, Cavaliers. LeBron James, Steph Curry. The king and the man who would be king. They play each other on Christmas, and I'm excited about all of this. And if you're excited, by the way, about these holiday traditions, the sports holiday traditions, and if you have some of your own or even non-sports holiday traditions, like I said before, I watch Die Hard every Christmas. 800-8949 is the Hot News Talk Radio Hot Talk line. 800-8949. Call and let me know about some of your favorite holiday traditions. I'd love to hear from you. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter. Hot News Talk Radio. And Cleveland and Golden State is going to be interesting for all the reasons that the finals were interesting. Better finals than what it looks like on paper. It went 5 games with LeBron James carrying an entire team. The Warriors now feeling themselves, got a lot of swagger, lost to the Bucks, will probably attempt to destroy them tonight in a revenge game. If you want to see vengeance, okay, like Wrath of Khan level vengeance, then hey, watch the Warriors play the Bucks tonight. But on Christmas Day, the Warriors and the Heat and the Cavs square off, and Kevin Love Kevin Love is going to be playing, and he wasn't in the finals. He had his labrum torn in a tangle with Boston Celtics Kelly Olynyk. So he's going to be back. The Cavs look really good with Kevin Love, by the way. Rebounding machine. He shoots the three ball well for a big guy. This is going to be a different Cavaliers team than the one the Warriors beat to win the finals. And I'm very interested. I think the Warriors would have won the finals, would have beaten Cleveland, even with Love. But it would have been much harder. It wouldn't have been 5 games. It would have probably been 6, maybe even 7. Okay? Maybe even 7. Kyrie's probably not going to be back. And then, of course, one of my favorite rivalries in sports that I know that it's not a huge thing here, but I'm from Texas. San Antonio Spurs versus Houston Rockets, I-10 rivalry. They're right up the road from one another, and LaMarcus Aldridge for the Spurs makes them look amazing. They look fantastic. Outside of the Warriors, probably nobody more dominant. Kawhi Leonard is becoming a superstar before our eyes, but you don't know it because he doesn't say a whole lot. Keeps very quiet. The Rockets are very talented, but imploding. And we might talk about that whole James Harden situation later because it's very interesting to me. And you know what? It's my show because it's the last one I'm doing before I go on break. Yes, local is the thing, but I like the NBA a lot. I know we don't have one team here, but come on. Cut me some slack. All right? Cut me some slack. And that's your NBA schedule for this Christmas. And nobody does Christmas quite like the NBA. You just put the games on in the background, and it's tons and tons of fun. You're listening to AM 1240, Hot News Talk Radio Clutch with Keon Rose. My girlfriend is going to ask me sports questions. Oh, boy.
I'm blowing everything up. We're starting over. I'm doing a new show. I want guys who push it to the middle of the table and go over the top. Take a risk, fail miserably. I'm right, and I'm not wrong, and I'll never back down. Conflict works. Allow it.
It's The Herd with Colin Cowherd. Right here and everywhere. Noon Eastern.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
Fox News Talk 1240.
Don't be a victim. Arm yourself today at Carter Shooting Supply and Indoor Range, offering the finest selection of personal firearms and ammo, especially the hard-to-find ammunition. You know the police can't protect you. They show up after the crime is committed. The ability to protect yourself, your family, and when called upon, your nation is enshrined in the United States Constitution. Shop the largest selection of shooting supplies on their online store. CarterShootingSupply.com. Carter Shooting Supply and Indoor Range. The largest and cheapest selection in Chattanooga. 6210 Highway 58, Harrison. Call 344-1099. That's 344-1099. Keep your family safe this Christmas by buying them a certificate for Carter Shooting Supply Tennessee Handgun Permit Class. And stop by today to consult one of their qualified experts. They'll fit you perfectly to the firearm that meets your needs. Call 344-1099. You'll always find the widest selection of new and used firearms at Carter Shooting.
Do I sound like a guy who loves to eat? Yeah. You too? Guess what? I cook the meanest hamburger in Hickson at my little restaurant, Armando's at Chester Frost Park. That's it. Right by the entrance, Chester Frost Park on Hickson Pike. I'd like you to come by and let me cook you dinner too. Bring your family, kids, friends. Lunch for common folk, just not the common lunch. Yeah, we're perfect for lunch. And dinner too. Meat guy? Yeah. Potatoes? Yeah. Catfish, BLTs, pecan pie, hot cup of coffee, or ice cold sweet tea. Armando's. That's us. Go on by 11 to 9, Monday through Saturday, right outside the entrance, Chester Frost Park, across from Thrasher.
Lay your burdens down at the Woodhouse. Leave all your worries at the door. Just take some time. We're transforming life.
Happy holidays at the Wood. From the Woodhouse Day Spa. Holiday gift cards available at chattanooga.woodhousespas.com. I love my Flex Loan from Advance Financial. I needed cash, I needed it fast, and I didn't want to get a payday loan. My Flex Loan from Advance Financial is not a payday loan. It's a line of credit. I only pay for the cash I need, and I only pay for the time that I need it. There's no lump sum payment. My Advanced Financial Flex Loan is an open line of credit, and I can get cash anytime I need it.
Visit one of our 24/7 locations and get the cash you need today. Advanced Financial, welcome.
Compass Media Network's coverage of the NFL. Hi, this is Jerry Recco. Join Kevin Ray, Danny White, myself for all the action.
Hot News Talk 1240.
If it's the NFL, it's right here.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
Hot News Talk 1240.
Expect partly cloudy, breezy, and chilly weather out there through the afternoon. Bundle up, highs only near 45. Tonight, clear, cold and frosty, lows into the upper 20s. For Saturday after a frosty start, lots of sunshine, highs 50 to 53. Back into the 50s, continue dry through Sunday. This forecast is brought to you by PetSmart. From grooming and boarding to food and toys, PetSmart has everything you need to take care of your pets this holiday season at your local PetSmart. And I'm Swarm Gene 12's Chief Meteorologist, Patrick Ford.
On AM 1240, Hot News Talk Radio.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
Hot News Talk 1240.
This is AM 1240, Hot News Talk Radio. This is Clutch with Keon Rose. I'm Keon Rose. Thank you for joining me today, giving me your time. All the different ways that you could possibly be listening to the sound of my voice in your car, on the radio, hotnewstalkradio.com. If you search Hot News Talk Radio on the TuneIn Radio app for your phone, it is free in the Apple Store and the Google Play Store. Completely free. And if you want to listen to us on YouTube, see what's going on. What's happening in the station. See what my face looks like if you mon visage. See what that looks like if you're really, really interested. So I have some Christmas spirit. I'm partially the Grinch. I'm more if you had to describe me as a person, especially when it comes to the holidays. My favorite Christmas movie is Die Hard. If you had to describe me as a person, I'm more the Grinch than Cindy Lou. I'm more the Grinch. I'm grumpier. Okay, so my Christmas spirit, I only have so much to give. Okay, it's like a Stephen A. Smith level of Christmas spirit.
I'm not having it.
Not having it. Christmas spirit. It's I've got it in tiny doses. Little bit of Christmas spirit here, a little bit of Christmas spirit there. I'd like to thank Stephen A. Smith because Stephen A. Smith is one of the bedrocks of this show. He is one of the foundations of this show. I got some Christmas gifts for people who have helped this show, who haven't helped this show, who've done interesting, exciting things this season. And my first Christmas gift goes to Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith helped make this show
Of me, and I'm looking right into the camera, and I'm gonna say it again. You do not want to make an enemy out of me. I'm not having it.
He's not having it. For Christmas, Stephen A. Smith, get a hug. Bring it in, bro. You need a hug, man. Or at least a cup of tea. Something to calm down. Stephen A. Smith is an angry person. Like, you don't want to get into any kind of beef with that guy because listen to this. There's a level of anger here that has to be legitimate and real because you can't say that and not mean it and not sound silly. Like you sound silly if you don't have the voice to say this.
You don't want to make an enemy out of me. And I'm looking right into the camera and I'm going to say it again. You do not want to make an enemy out of me. I'm not having it.
You're going to sound silly. You're going to sound silly if you don't have the voice for that and the actual anger for that. Stephen A. Smith needs a hug for Christmas. Okay? Second, Johnny series. They did their victory parade. And during the victory parade, drunk Johnny Gomes got up and he had a few words to say. Johnny Gomes, take it away.
It's unbelievable what those boys did. It's unbelievable what they did. It's unbelievable what they did. They stole bases. They hit homers. Hey, guess what? Cy Young winner. Not on our team. Beat them. Rookie of the year. Not on our team. We beat them. MVP of the whole league. Sorry, guys. Not on our team. But we beat that guy, too.
Johnny Gomes is going to need some bread and some coffee for that hangover. He's going to need that. That's his Christmas gift. Also, he's going to get a Major League Baseball championship ring. Now, wrap your mind around this. Johnny Gomes is going to get a Major League Baseball championship ring after playing exactly 0 games in the playoffs. 0 games. Johnny Gomes played no games in the playoffs, got really drunk, and said this.
It's unbelievable what those boys did. It's unbelievable what they did.
Unbelievable what they did. You in that moment when you drink so much that you can't pronounce unbelievable. Unbelievable what they did. Johnny Gomes. And of course, my main man, Kirk Cousins, who frequents this show more often than probably anybody else, because I do like that.
You like that? You like that?
I do, Kirk. I do like that. 2 things happen fairly frequently. Kirk Cousins says that, and by the way, Kirk Cousins gets a high five for Christmas. He turned that into a whole charitable donation, and I have no idea how he did it. He made a T-shirt and then started selling it, and the proceeds went directly to charity. Who knew? Right? That's just an offhanded rant that you just threw at the media because they kept criticizing you constantly could turn into a force of good.
You like that? You like that?
I do, Kirk, but I do like that. I do like that. And you know what? Derrick Henry made my inner Grinch go away. Like, that's, to me, is the most amazing thing. Derrick Henry, Alabama Crimson Tide running back, and Heisman Trophy winner, joining the Heisman House, I imagine, and all the crazy things that happens in there. I have no idea. Not a lot in the Heisman House. Plus, they wouldn't sponsor this show, so we're not friends. The Nissan Heisman House that I'm now publicizing, even though they didn't sponsor anything. I'm just saying I'm a little mad. You reach out to people, you try and engender goodwill, and then it just backfires. They throw it in your face. What do you do? What do you do? But Derrick Henry took his offensive linemen out for dinner to thank them for the season. That you don't win the Heisman Trophy as a running back without your linemen. And Derrick Henry is truly a humble guy. Truly. Like, that's who he is as a person. It's not an act. It's not for show. I don't like it when guys are fake humble. If you're humble, be humble. If you're not, don't do it. Derrick Henry's really that. He's the real deal. Took his offensive lineman out to eat. And understand, offensive linemen put it away. Offensive linemen put it away. When you take your offensive lineman out to eat, that is a financial commitment. I've seen numbers on checks from offensive linemen being taken out to eat in the $50,000 range. That 5 dudes, and then if you count some of the backups, like that's like 7 or 8 dudes, ate $50,000 in food. That is a financial commitment, Mr. Henry. Now you're going to the NFL, and you're going to be great. So, I mean, I suppose you could take the risk. But you take your lineman out to eat. That is a financial commitment, the likes that we've never seen. Okay? I don't know where the money's coming from. You take your offensive lineman out to eat. You're taking out a loan also. You're taking out a loan. Understand that that's the commitment there. Anywhere from 30 to 50 grand. Took him out to eat, though, because they're responsible for opening up the lanes that he runs through. And it's interesting because there are a lot of running backs that are very, very humble, and that's who they are. It's not an act. Fournette is that way as well. McCaffrey is that way. It's just kind of awesome to just see guys whose personalities are legitimately that. Again, I don't want your fake humble. Keep it to yourself. If you're going to sit here and try and act humble when really you're arrogant, I don't want that from you. If you're arrogant, be calm. If you're overconfident, be Cam Newton. If you're going to be over the top, be LeBron James. Tom Brady's got a little cockiness in him. He doesn't pretend that that's not who he is. Don't pretend. I don't want your pretend humble. If you're Derrick Henry, be humble. Be actually humble. I don't want your fake swagger either. And keep that to yourself too. And of course, I'd like to just send special holiday greetings to all of my friends that have joined me on the show. Bill Bender from sportingnews.com. Make sure you read his stuff. He's very insightful, very good. We didn't have him on this week because I couldn't think of anything really to talk about. So I didn't bring him on the show this week. But when I return, will be the day of the national championship game. So we're obviously going to have Bill on to talk about that and break down some of the games that happened before. The New Year's and New Year's Eve games that is Clemson, Alabama, Michigan State, Oklahoma. All four of those teams tangled in one big mess. One giant mess. And of course, this entire week could not have happened without the horse people. The horse people being those who thought that American Pharoah, the horse, should have been Sports Person of the Year. Sports Illustrated Sports Person of the Year. No, actually, American Pharoah is a horse and cannot be Sports Person of the Year. This is insanity and madness, the likes of which I have never seen. And the horse people came after me on Twitter, the direct messages to my inbox. Like, they didn't even just tweet it normally. They wanted me to know they were mad. Horse people, get over it. Serena Williams is a person and an amazing athlete, deserved every second of Sports Person of the Year. Your Sports Person of the Year candidate is a horse. Does not even know that he was up for nomination because he is a horse. It's craziness. That has been fuel for at least 4 shows this week. The horse people. Thank you to the horse people. I don't know what I would get you for Christmas. You can have all of my laughter. All of my kicks. That's what you get this Christmas. You're listening to AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio. Questions. That's my girlfriend, and she's going to ask me some sports questions on behalf of girlfriends and wives that don't know anything about sports.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
Fox News Talk 1240.
While politicians debate climate change and taking our guns, they leave America vulnerable to disaster. You need to act now to keep your family safe and prepared. Do you have an emergency plan? Do you have long-term storage food? Do you have the skills and mindset to survive a disaster? If not, what are you waiting for? Call P5 Preparedness right now, 423-602-2175. Do you honestly think the government is going to help you? If you do, you are wrong. Dead wrong. Don't get caught unprepared. Let the experts at P5 Preparedness get you ready for any emergency or disaster situation. Today, we offer a wide range of classes for the beginner on how to prepare, as well as the expert prepper. We stock a wide range of supplies, including long-term storage food, water filtration, outdoor gear, tactical gear, and plate carriers. P5 Preparedness, East Brainerd Road between I-75 and Gun Barrel Road. You will see the Army Deuce and a Half truck, 423-602-2175, 1309 Panorama Drive, Chattanooga, P5Preparedness.com.
Celebrate the holidays with cheer and basement bargain prices at One Stop Package in the Sunrise Market Center, Soddy Daisy. The brand new One Stop Package beverage store on Old Dayton Pike, just north of the Thrasher Light, with the best prices in town. Enjoy the lowest prices on beer, wine, liquor, and soft drinks. Hey, mention you heard this ad on Hot News Talk Radio and get 5% off your purchase. That's right. Mention you heard this on the radio and you'll get 5% off. The brand new One Stop Package beverage store in Soddy Daisy. Their prices are always the lowest prices in town. The lowest prices you'll find in the finest of adult beverages. The brand new One Stop Package in South Soddy Daisy at the Sunrise Market, featuring great prices on gas, bread, and milk. The Sunrise Market just across from Charlie's and Sun.
Get 10% off every case of wine.
The Fed raising rates, China's economy in trouble. Don't let headlines derail your long-term financial strategy. I'm Edward Jones financial advisor Patrick Neal. At Edward Jones, we provide the tools for a reasoned, disciplined approach to investing. Stop by my office next to the Target Shopping Center in Hickson, or call me at 423-870-7894. That's Patrick Neal at 870-7894. Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Member SIPC.
I'm the type of guy that likes a big breakfast, a couple of eggs, bacon, and some gravy and biscuits. I know they have specials at lunch every day. That includes a big meat and three menu. At night, I want some good comfort food. Maybe some smoked brisket, pulled barbecue, or ribs. They've got that too. Wimpy's the type of place where you can go in and have a good conversation, catch up what's going on in Soddy Daisy, and have some great food. That's why I go to Wimpy's. You know where it's at, on Dayton Boulevard, right across from City Hall. That's Wimpy's. Give them a call, 423-332-6201. Did you hear me? It's 332-6201. Wimpy's. They're even on Facebook at Wimpy's. I know your mouth is watering just like mine. So let's go to Wimpy's.
This is AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio. Thank you for joining me today. You're listening to Clutch with Keon Rose. I'm Keon Rose, and we have a wonderful experimental segment for you today. It's called Jay Asks. My girlfriend Jay has joined us on the show today to ask questions on behalf of all those wives and girlfriends that have sports questions, the pressing sports questions in this world that many of us fail to answer on a regular basis, and I will fail to answer them here live on the radio. How about that? So here we go. We're getting Jay all looked up here.
I'm rather short, and clearly the individuals who are here are a lot taller than I am on the regular.
I can see that.
Massive adjustments.
Massive adjustments are being made. This webcam actually does not go low enough to really get Jay in the shot. I'm trying to mess with it here.
I'm standing on my tippy toes.
She's a tiny person.
To the sky, and I have the perfect face for radio, is what I'm learning.
Which is
it's why you like me.
For me, and this happens every time we watch a sporting event, something related, mostly football and basketball, because you will not watch baseball with me. And anyway, you will not watch baseball with me, and you have questions every time we watch. You have questions of some kind, and I either answer them to the best of my ability, which sometimes works out, but sometimes it really doesn't. So we're just going to toss some of these questions out here and see. if we've got anything here, anything in the tank at all, while we just look at your eyes in the webcam.
Look, that's the most important part. The eyes are the windows to the soul.
So they say.
To the questions.
So they say, to the questions. Enough with the waxing poetic. We'll leave that to Mr. Tulis.
I try. I will say I am excited to be here at Hot News Talk Radio. I think you all have an amazing thing that you have going on here, and it's just great. And the banana bread is cooking, and it has never smelled so great in this beautiful office. You're welcome. Merry Christmas.
There you go.
There you go.
Bringing the banana bread love to Hot News Talk Radio.
Yes.
But also, let's jump into some of these questions
because happen. First of all, I would like to throw out at you while we're on the air, boyfriend time. What better way to spend boyfriend time for the holidays than to ask questions? I'm just going to get into this. I'd like to preface these questions knowing that I am not the most knowledgeable sports person, but I would like to be.
By the way,
to reach out to your world.
Before we jump into anything, I resent you because you immediately became a fan of the Golden State Warriors because watching them was cool and watching them was fun, and you're from California. And they go out and win a title year one of your fandom. I've been a Wizards fan for 16 years now.
Oh.
Not even close.
All I do is win no matter what.
Please stop.
So
Please stop.
Warrior at heart.
The youth of my life involved fat Michael Jordan. Old fat Michael Jordan. Please don't do that.
Space Jam movie, right?
Yes.
I'm kidding.
Oh, yes. Okay.
I should know that.
Now we do know some of the basics here. We're not. I have failed you as a sports boyfriend.
Well,
if this happens.
Here's how we're gonna find that out. Okay, so my first question is this. Okay, when we talk about timeout, all right, like I work with the children, all of the children. I love the children, the little babies, and sometimes when I'm working with the parents, when our children are being bad, like we don't have children. So I don't mean us,
right?
But I mean when I'm working with parents and things, we put our kids on timeout. Like that is one of the strategies that we measure and we teach. And I'm just curious, like when we talk about timeout in sports, does that mean that a player is getting disciplined? Does that mean that there's a problem? Like what exactly?
So a timeout, it's different in literally every sport. Timeout in basketball is usually used, obviously, to stop the clock because in a game where the time is also your enemy, it's running out.
Okay.
You use it to stop the clock, and also basketball strategy tends to be very fluid. So what you do is you stop the clock also to drop a play and try and figure out. You use it to drop a play and try and figure out where you're going next.
Okay, so it's like a strategy.
Because it's just not. I don't.
Okay.
I don't know.
Sense.
I don't know the etymology of the word. I just know that that's what happened. Point. It's too late.
Yeah, because don't you pay coaches more money than I will ever make in my lifetime?
That is correct.
To plan that before you get to the game.
Yes.
Okay, but sometimes it changes on the fly, right?
It does, okay. but because in football you call a play basically every series. The quarterback actually has a headset in his helmet.
Oh, okay.
And there's someone in a booth above watching everything, and he's going to look at how things are going and say, "We're going to pass here."
Oh,
so you don't stop to call plays in football because you're already calling them.
There's a voice in the quarterback's head.
Correct.
Awesome. I didn't know that. Okay.
Except sometimes the Patriots cheat and you can't hear your communication. Then you got to figure out where to go from there by yourself.
Who are the people who have problems with knowing how much a football should be?
The Patriots?
Oh,
how much it should weigh?
That's not cheating's not patriotic.
It is not patriotic.
I don't understand that.
But here's the thing. You don't represent necessarily what your team says you are. Because there's some teams just based on team name that ought to be good.
Okay, let's talk about that for just a second. I have another question about scoring and actual rules, right?
Okay. And this is AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio, listening to Clutch with Keon Rose. Jay asks, my girlfriend Jay has come here to ask me some questions the pressing sports questions on her mind that I'm trying to solve them. I'm trying to solve them, y'all.
I mean, the most informative answer at this point has been because it is, and I learned a lot from that. I mean, 42
why is it
hitchhikers out
there
there in the
you
galaxy. So I would like to say this. All right, speaking of the Washington professional sports team and names, I like that name because the social worker in me is a little cringy on their actual name.
The Redskins. You are still allowed to say it.
I'm sorry.
Okay, there you go. Okay.
But other than that,
I believe Dan Levitard on his show calls them the Washington racial slurs. He won't actually say their name.
Understandable. Yep. I mean, and there's a whole range of things that we could talk about right now, but we won't. I have a question. So we totally watched them get sort of destroyed at the last second, and I had a question about scoring. So dancing fumble fast legs, whatever his name is,
Deshaun Jackson. Yes. I don't see. This is how football games are with us. This is how it is to watch football games. She just has names for people, and I'm supposed to know who that is. Sure, he's got a name on the back of his jersey, but why use that one?
He is formerly known in my life as.
But that is a very accurate. That is a very accurate description.
Redskins team, and I've realized that's dangerous. And I apologize. I love you all, but I will say this: watching the refs go back over that take. So there's a point where he gets the ball, and he cradles it like a young child, and then he falls. And as he falls, points of his body make contact with the ground, and then the ball bounces out. Unlike a child, because ideally you would hold that child. And then they call it on him like it's a fumble. And that actually is probably the point that ended up costing the game, really. I mean, it made a major turn from what I could see.
That was one of the.
I guess is the short of my question.
If the ball comes loose before your knees, elbows make contact with the ground, your forearm even really, then that's a fumble. And the ball doesn't necessarily have to come out. It just has to come loose. So you no longer have control.
But if you, does the ball have to touch, is that a touchdown when the ball touches the ground, or is that only when you win a point?
Only when the ball crosses the line in the end zone is that a touchdown.
But if it's a down, you have 10 downs.
You have 4. You have 4 downs and
10 yards
to gain 10 yards.
Oh.
Down is just a fancy word for try. You have 4 tries to get 10 yards. If you get 10 yards, you get 4 more tries.
So how many downs can you have? how down can you be?
Until you get to the end of the field, until you get to the end zone.
So hypothetically speaking, you can have an infinite number if you get 10 downs or 10 yards every time. Although that's impossible because
whatever that finite number is between where you are and where you're going, I wouldn't know because it depends on where you start.
Okay. Well, okay. I'm still trying to conceptualize this fumble situation.
Okay.
So at some point, is it possible to fall on the ground? Because that happens all the time in touchdowns. Dancing fast legs, dancing fumble fast legs sometimes will go to the end zone.
Also notice Deshaun Jackson.
You're listening to Hot News Talk Radio.
You're listening to Hot News Talk Radio. Clutch with Keon Rose. We talk sports.
In the most technical terms. So if he's in the end zone, sometimes I see him some of them will throw the ball down and dance, or one guy will love the children and give them balls, but that's in a different team.
Yeah, that's Cam Newton with the Panthers. Yes, see, you're learning something.
Round 1 for points for me.
Cam. Whoa. Cam. Okay. Let's keep the singing to a minimum.
Good for you.
But
break the studio.
The moment that the ball crosses the goal line, the very instant any part of the ball crosses the goal line, it's a touchdown, and then you can't lose the ball after that. So
it's different with a fumble is what you're telling me.
Yes.
When does it call then? When does the down end?
When you make contact with the ground with your knees or your arms specifically, if the ground doesn't cause the ball to come out. Once that happens, the referee will blow the play dead.
So if you fall on the floor, ground, and stuff, I don't know, Keon, is there hope for me?
There is hope for you. You've got literally this comes from just watching a lot of sports. The more you watch, the more naturally and intuitively you'll get it. There's plenty of hope for you. And if you're a wife or a girlfriend out there and you're watching sports with your boyfriend, your husband, significant other, It doesn't all make sense at first.
Go. The banana bread is cooking.
The banana bread is cooking,
What do we do?
and we've got to go. We're out of time.
Oh man.
But thank you, everybody that joined us today. Everybody that joined us this year. Made it a great year. First year for Clutch with Keon Rose here on AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio. I'm grateful to Confederate Mike for the opportunity that I've gotten. He's a very grumpy man, but sometimes he smiles at me and it makes me happy.
And there's bread for you.
And there's bread for you, sir. It's being baked right here in the radio station.
You talk. AM 1240 Radio.
And remember, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. Always be clutch. I'll see you next year.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
I'm blowing everything up. We're starting over. I'm doing a new show. I want guys who push it to the middle of the table and go over the top. Take a risk, fail miserably. I'm right, and I'm not wrong, and I'll never back down. Conflict works. Allow it.
It's The Herd with Colin Cowherd. Right here and everywhere. Noon Eastern.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga